What's up, YouTube? Gaming Guru 91 here, and today I'm going to be talking about a new series about fantasy football recap. So I'm going to be starting off with a whole fantasy football kind of series, like injuries, predictions, all this stuff, along with gameplay. But I'll get to that in another video. Right now, let's actually get into the video. So when it comes to quarterbacks, Eli Manning was the number one quarterback, and this I think was the exception, not the norm. He had a great game, but I don't think he'll replicate it that often. Maybe one or two times. I think he'll average about 19 points from here on out if he can click with Victor Cruz, Larry Donnell or Donald, I don't know how to say his name, is getting open and getting targets, and also his complementary pieces such as Rashad Jennings, who is actually the number 5 running back in fantasy, I think, right now. So this team is gonna do better. I don't think they'll make the playoffs though. I think they might go 8-8 and they might get a wild card, but I think that's the best they'll do. Next, we got Andrew Luck, who had a great game. Andrew Luck, I thought would be the number 2 quarterback behind Peyton Manning, and as of right now, that seems like it probably will happen. And Luck might actually finish number 1, which is insane considering he was picked like the 7th or 5th or 6th quarterback overall, or even later depending on your league. And but I think Luck will have many more games like this, like great games, just awesome games. And last but not least, top three, we got Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers, always in the MVP talk, always MVP candidate. Prove why he's always there. He told Packers fans to relax, and then he proved why they should. So now that his girlfriend Olivia Munn was back, I guess he was a little more relaxed. He was hanging out with her, but he threw for 4 touchdowns, had a big pile of yards, and also that Eddie Lacy helped Eddie Lacy score his first touchdown. So I think he will have performances like this, not on the norm, obviously, 'cause this is a great game, but you can expect like 303 touchdowns almost every week from a guy like this. So next, let's get to the running backs. When it comes to running backs, Matt Asiata finished number 1 out of all the running backs this week with 78 rushing yards and 3 touchdowns, as well as 22 receiving yards. I don't think he'll keep this up. I think he'll average about 8 points a game, especially with goal line carries, 8 to 10 points a game. But Jared McKinnon, who I think that's his name, was the backup, and he got 150 yards or 135 yards on 15 carries. I think that he sooner or later, hopefully, will be the number 1 because I picked him up in a couple leagues just because of that chance. Next, we got DeMarco Murray, who was keeping up a strong play this season with 126 yards and 2 touchdowns. At the time of at the time that I was recording this, I was watching the Saints game, and I was just on a commercial, so I thought I'd record this. And I am a huge Saints fan, so this is just a backbreaker losing because we lost the Cowboys by a lot. I didn't like this, but Murray's keeping it up. I don't know how long he will keep it up though. I'm only saying that because he's very injury prone, so I don't know if he'll finish the full season. But then again, you never know. And last but not least, we got Frank Gore, a little bit of a renaissance man here, going back in time, pulling off those big yards. 119 rushing, 55 receiving, and a touchdown. All the receiving yards came on 1 touchdown, I believe. So Frank Gore had a good game. I think he won't average more than about 10 either, though, because they haven't been running the ball a lot. They said they would run the ball more, but at the same time, he's not getting a lot of carries to begin with. And for that reason, I don't think he will average a huge amount. Next, let's go to wide receivers. So when it comes to wide receivers, we had some surprising people up here. At number 1, we had Steve Smith Sr. So Steve Smith played against his old team, and he was playing angry. Honestly, he had a very good game. 139 and 2 tutties. I did not think he would do this well. He is doing well overall this season. He's kind of taken away Torrey Smith's numbers, sorry. But then again, the Ravens do need him, and he is playing the way Torrey Smith should be playing. But Steve Smith is like a smaller but very strong player, and that's why he's getting all these chances and playing this well. He doesn't go down easily, and for that reason, that's the only reason I think he will be the number 1 in Baltimore. Even though Torrey Smith is still supposed to be the number 1, he will be the number 1. He'll average about 15 a game, I think. He will get the bulk of Joe Flacco's touchdowns, even though Smith might get the yards. Sorry, Torrey Smith might get the yards. Next, we got Antonio Brown. Antonio Brown back-to-back 2 touchdown games. He's been playing very well. The Steelers they're far away from their 8 quarter scoreless drought, and that is in direct correlation with Antonio Brown's numbers. As you can see here, 131, 2 touchdowns. He's just played great, and he's gonna keep it up. I think. I think he'll be the number 3 wide receiver. I got AJ Green and Calvin Johnson ahead of him, even though Calvin Johnson hasn't been doing great. But then again, he's also had a bit of a nagging injury. But that's a different video. We'll get to that in a different video. Last, we got Randall Cobb here at 23 fantasy points. Kind of a showing out party here. Not showing out party, but you guys know what I mean. It was his breakout game. He's been having good games, but this was his huge game. Almost every receiver has one huge game. If you look right underneath him, his teammate there, Jordy Nelson, also had one of those huge games. Jordy Nelson and Cobb both are just reaping on Aaron Rodgers' fantasy numbers, and for that reason, I think they will keep up both 15 to 18 point a night totals. So next, let's go to the tight ends. When it comes to tight ends, Larry Donnell led all tight ends with huge amount of points, 3 touchdowns, 54 receiving yards. That was a big game. I think he'll average probably around 12 points a game because he seems to get all the red zone targets, and yardage wise, he'll probably get around 50 to 60 a game, I think. So I think around 10 to 12 points is pretty average for him. He had a great game this weekend, of course, but overall, 4 touchdowns in 4 games, regardless of how he got them, is still good. And no one else really getting that many red zone targets unless you count Rashad Jennings' handoffs. So next we got Heath Miller, who had a good game, but this will not be normal for him. I think he'll average about 8 points a game, and I'm saying that because he'll average very low yardage, but I think he'll get a touchdown every other game or so. So I think he'll finish with about 6 touchdowns in the rest of the season, but no more than probably 600 yards. I think personally. Last but not least, when it comes to tight ends, we got Delaney Walker, who's been having a great season, 3 touchdowns, and he's leading his team in receiving yards by almost 100 receiving yards, I believe. So I think that he will keep this up, keep up this pace of about, I think he'll average about 14 a game. Excuse me, and be possibly the number 2 tight end next to Jimmy Graham. Of course, Jimmy Graham is untouchable, but that's not the point right now. So let me know if you guys like this series. I'm gonna be doing my predictions for the top 5 players at each position, and I will be doing that on Wednesdays. But I will also be posting gameplay. I will be on Wednesdays and Mondays. I will be posting the fantasy football recap and my predictions. So let me know if you think that's going to be a good idea. So drop a like if you think that'll be a good idea. Comment on if you think this is a good idea. If you think it's not a good idea, not a big deal. Just won't do it, and it's not a huge deal to me because I do find it interesting. But if you guys don't find it interesting, I don't want to bore you guys. And as always, guys, if you haven't hit that subscribe button, go ahead and hit it. I'm trying to grow. You guys want to see good videos? Let's help each other out. Thanks a lot, guys. Peace.